evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening,
Thank you very much, and welcome to President's News on the 24th of July 2024. We've got a bit of a special news tonight because we've got Sam Reardon with us joining us after his fabulous run on Saturday. If you didn't see it, where were you? It was fabulous. And we've also got a couple of guests over from New Zealand, Rod and Christine Barker. So, was it wave, Rod? Rod and Christine are possibly my best viewers, so it's lovely to have them in the house with us tonight. So, great to have you live. Okay, you've picked a good week actually. It's a big, busy week. We've got 7 bits of club news to share with you, seven club records basically. We've got 6 sets of results to round up with you, a little bit of Parkrun facts and podiums, and then we've got a few events coming up this weekend. And then we're going to have a special session at the end, a bit of a Q&A or a chat through with Sam after his fabulous run at the Diamond League on Saturday. So it's a bumper session, get comfortable, get your drinks in, and we'll get cracking. Okay, so starting off with our club news, and we're going to do we've got 7 club records with you tonight. So I'm going to start with Sam. So if you remember, this time last week, Sam Reardon, new club record 45.9. He's only gone and taken over a second off that. So it's a new club under 23 and senior men's record over 400 metres in a time of 44.7. Of course, beating his record from just last week. Now, I've been given some hot facts on this. So this ranks him number 1 in Europe as an under 23. He's ranked number 4 in Europe as a senior, behind Matt Hudson-Smith, Charlie Dobson, Doom, the Belgian, who's also world indoor 400 metre champ, so that's not bad. So 4th in Europe, senior men. It also ranks him 30th worldwide. So you're sitting in behind Wade van Niekerk, Sam. So well done you. I've got a few more fun facts for you on Sam's race. Sam is one of only 4 British men to have run sub 46 seconds for the 400 and sub 146 for the 800. No one has ever done the sub 45, sub 145 double. So you're halfway through, and they reckon that the 400 is the hardest one to beat. So you're well on the way, Sam. Yes. So that's what we're expecting for next year, for sure. Okay. So that was Sam. So moving on, we have also under 15 boys, 4x100 metres, new club record of 44.5, breaking the existing record of 44.8 from 1995. And they did that at the Club Connect relays, also at the Diamond League on Saturday. So I've got a note of the boys in it, I'll share that with you as we come through. So that was great. We've also got another under 15 boys club record, Trajan Chicheku Bawama in the 5-kilometre walk. He ran a time, or walked a time of 30.06. Then in the M75 mile, Jim Phelan ran 7.26 on a 300 metre track on the 12th of July to set a new club M75 record. And Andrea Clement set a new women 40 3,000 metre record at the Tunbridge Masters event a couple of weeks ago. And Andrea ran 9.47 at Tunbridge. We've also got another W40 long jump record this time from Zara Asante. She jumped 4.84 on the 20th of June. I'm thinking, where was she when we were doing our Masters events? Because we're in need of some long jumpers, aren't we? And then finally, under 17 men's 1500 metre steeplechase, Harry Fage ran a 4.44. It's a new barrier height for the under 15 men now. So sorry, under 17 men. Sorry, that should be under 20. Harry's at under 20, so I maybe need to. It's maybe a typo, I'm not sure. I'll check with Pat and we'll get back to you next week on that. So that's our club records, our club news. So results roundup. This week we've got 6 different events to share. The first one, we've got the European Under-18 Track and Field Champs in Slovakia, where we had Daisy Snell competing in long jump. Now unfortunately, Daisy had been feeling really good in the days beforehand, really good in warm-up, but the competition just didn't go well at all. She was disappointed not to qualify for the final. She jumped 5.75, still a very good jump, but that's some 30 centimetres off her usual range. And had she jumped, even close to her PB, she'd have come home with a bronze medal. So she's definitely in the zone, but it just wasn't clicking for her on at the weekend. So while the competition hadn't gone the way she'd hoped, she's learnt a lot, and grateful to have been part of the GB team for that. So it was a great experience, which will no doubt fuel her journey towards bigger and better times. So well done to Daisy, and we are all very proud of you. Closer to home, we had at the SIAB International in Wales, we had Chichi Ukupe and Elsa Pawson competing in long jump and pole vault after being selected from the English schools a couple of weekends ago. So we also had Josh Dako qualified for the English team at SIAB, but Josh has unfortunately picked up a bit of a knee injury, so he wasn't able to compete. Elsa finished 4th in the pole vault, just missing a medal. It was a silver for Chi-Chi in the triple jump, so a well done to Elsa and Chi-Chi, and we wish Josh a very speedy recovery. Okay, moving on. At the weekend we had the England Athletics under 23, under 20 and senior champs in Birmingham. We had 44 of our athletes taking part, and as I said last week, 20 of those were under 20s, and so some of those in contention for the under 20 World Championships over in Peru at the end of August. So, starting with our seniors, we had 3 firsts and 2 thirds, and we had 9 athletes making finals, which was really good. In first place, we had Darcy Kuipers winning both the 100 and the 200 metres, and she won her 200 with a PB of 23.7. We had another win from Prince Reed, who's a para T20 athlete, who finished the 1500 metres in a PB of 4:07. So we had Sophie Ellis finished 3rd in a bronze medal in the 400 metre hurdles, and we also had a 3rd from Shannara Hibbert in triple jump, jumping a season's best of 12:88. So we also had Mary Adeniji finishing 4th in long jump, Rico Cottle 5th in 110 metre hurdles, a 6th for Ben Hutton in long jump, and a 7th for Kieran Gowan-Wade in the 100 metres. So moving to our under 23s, we had 3 firsts and 1 second, and 7 of our athletes making finals. We had first from George Seary in the 400 metre hurdles. He set a season's best of 51.33 in the heat and took the final with a 51.87. We had a win from Jennifer Aduwu in the 100 metres, and we also had a win from Dylan Claydon in shot put, throwing a PB of 16.57. It was 2nd place for Zara Obamakinwa in discus with a season's best of 55.88. Then we also had 4th from Theo Adesina in long jump, a 7th from Saskia King in the 100, 8th from Chanel Cole in the 400 metres, with a PB in the heat, which was great. Semi-final for Kyle Reynolds-Warmington in the 100, and making the 5th place finish in the heats for Zoe Ostrich in 400 hurdles. Okay, so moving to the under 20s, we had 2 firsts, 2 fourths. Why have I written we've had 2 fourths? Never mind. It's been a long week. Okay, so let's go through the results. Okay, so we had first from Daniel Goriola. We've mentioned Daniel recently quite a bit, getting new club records over 110 hurdles. So Daniel won the 110 hurdles, in a time of 13:30. The qualifying time for the Worlds was 14:20, so all being well, Daniel should be off to Peru. Rain Mutada was 6th in that 110 metre finals, but just slightly off his PB in 14:25. It was a first for Cleo Agipong in shot put with 14:80, and the qualifying being 14:50, so all being well, Cleo should be off to Peru. We also had Rihanna Rennie competing in shot put, where she finished 5th, in a season's best of 11:65. Now we had Faith Akinbeleji in the 200 metres, where she finished 4th. She ran 23:69 in the final. The qualifying time is 24.4, so hoping perhaps that Faith will get to go. She was in the World Under-20s last year, coming back from injury, so she's clearly getting back to some good form, but whether she goes or not, we don't know yet. Anyway, it was another 4th for Oscar Whitcomb in pole vault. We had 5ths for Luke Dronfield in the 400 hurdles, Jodie Self in the 100 hurdles, and then 6th from Abraham Sharif in long jump, a 7th from Joyce in triple jump. Okay, so some very strong performances there. We're hoping Daniel, Cleo and Faith will all get the nod for the under 20s, so good luck to them. And I'm also hoping to see as many of those athletes as possible at the National League on the 3rd of August, where we are hoping very much to finish as close to 3rd as possible. We do have a bit of a relegation issue going on, so we need to finish better than 6th. So if some of those athletes could come out, that would be fantastic. Okay, moving on to Friday night, and it was the final round of our Kent Masters League at Dartford. Going into the final round, the men were sitting in 3rd, but had Cambridge Harriers just 3 points behind them, so it was very close for the men. Also close in the ladies' overall competition, we were sitting 2nd behind Tunbridge, who had a very big lead, but we were just 3 points ahead of Medway. So the big target was to finish top 2 in the league and then qualify for the Masters finals at the end of August. So events on offer last Friday were 800 metres, 100 metres, a 4x200 relay, and in the field we had triple jump, high jump, long jump and discus. So it was a tricky night for our boys. They were hampered with injuries and life commitments, if you like. So they were fielding a smaller team than usual. They still maintained a super team spirit on the night, but unfortunately fell foul to a very strengthened Cambridge Harriers team. So they finished a tough 5th on the night and slipped to 4th overall. Unfortunately, just 2 points behind Cambridge Harriers. But they have avoided relegation, so they'll stay up in Division 1. And it was I'm very confident that next year they'll do much better, because the team spirit in the men's team is fantastic actually, and they're all looking forward to doing better and more vet events. So many thanks to Steve Howe for team managing the men's team. But yeah, looking forward to next year, because that was going to be quite exciting. A few acknowledgements. Ian Furla, Tim Ayers and Luca Arcolani earned the most points for the club over the whole league, and Ian, Tim and Ashley Reid covered the greatest number of events. Got to give a big shout out to Ken Daniel, who ran a non-scoring 800 metres on Friday. He won't want me to mention the time, so I won't.
Thank you. Sam, I've been very
You'll see what the deterioration is with time, Sam. But Ken also ran a scoring 100 on the night. So
I hadn't done that for 40 years.
I know. Now you weren't the only M70. You were actually 2nd M70 on the night, Ken, by 3 seconds. So there's some work for you for next year.
Yeah, the gentleman who did that was actually a sprinter.
Okay.
And he's actually the Kent Sports team manager.
Okay.
I know him very well.
Okay.
And he did say to me, "What the hell are you doing this for?"
Anything for a point, eh, Ken? So, yeah, well done. Anyway, and the last little highlight on the night, we saw Luca Arcolani winning the M50's 800 metre race. He's won every middle distance race this year. So if there was an award like the Diamond League, Luca would have been winning it. But instead of a diamond trophy for Masters, you'd probably be more happy with like physio vouchers or something. So anyway. Good, okay, moving on to the ladies. So again, the ladies were hampered with injuries and life issues getting in the way, but we had rallied the troops as best we could and managed to fill all the events. The target of finishing top 2 and making finals had become the sole focus, and the mantra of the night was just finish ahead of Medway. That's all we had to do. So I'm pleased to report that we did that. We had a very solid night, finished a really close 2nd behind Dartford, just 1 point behind, but most importantly we secured 2nd place and so have qualified for the finals at the end of August. So a few highlights on the ladies' side. Our W35s of Daniela Sage, Katie Sugden and Sarah Ballone all took podium positions in their target events. Myself and Jenny Butler covered the W50 events, and Jackie Montgomery covered all the W60 events. And between us we managed a 3rd in the 4x200 relay. So with only 1 sprinter in the team, it was not bad going. So a big thank you to Maz, as ever, for all her efforts in getting us out there on the night and keeping everyone fed and fueled with her serene and her fruit and things, and wishing the team all the very best for Oxford at the end of August. Okay, so we had the Diamond League on Saturday, and there was a few club members taking part. There was Dina, of course, running in the 200 metres and the 4x100 GB team. Dina finished 3rd in the 200, you might have seen, where she had a great start, ran a super bend, but just got reeled in by Gabby Thomas and Julian Alfred in the last straight. But she and the GB team won the relay, which I think was their team for Paris, so it all bodes well for the Olympics. We had Becca Walton competing in javelin. She was 8th with 52.19, so a little way off her PB of 59.95, but great to see her there in Diamond League. We had Sam, of course, running in the National 400 event, which she won in her 44.70. A win, PB, club record, etc., etc. But then for the kids, we had the Club Connect relays. So the top 8 London teams, under 15 girls and boys, and under 17 men and women, get to compete on the Olympic track. Normally it's reserved for the under 17s and under 20s, but this year they allowed the under 15s in, possibly also because it was the under 20 champs up in Birmingham that they figured there might not be so many there. So our under 15s and under 17s had a great experience running on the track with big screens and everything. It was fantastic. So our under 15 girls finished 5th in a season's best of 49.02. We had India Ellington, Sienna Thompson, Feo Olatunde and Isabella Campbell-Anzu, with Ella Brooker as the reserve. The under 15 boys, I mentioned them in the club records earlier, they finished 2nd in a PB of 44.50, which was a club record. So no winning check, but a club record. And we had Pierre Spencer Sims, Nicholas Marquez, Oscar Sadowski and Olufakayo Lana competing. In the under 17 women, it was another close second for the ladies in a season's best of 48.35. We had Alyssa Furla, Chizam Bonifaci, Sienna Williams and Cheyenne Nketa taking part. And then in the under 17 men, it was 4th for the men and in a season's best of 43.32 with Daniel Olatunji, Ryan Rennie, Leon McBean and Oji Okoro with Charlie Platt as the reserve. Okay, we're nearly there. It is the big one coming up though, the YDL Lower. Okay, so YDL Lower on Sunday over at Tunbridge. This was the final round of the league for the youngsters. We had qualified for Manchester finals, so that was all fine, but we did want to go into finals as division winners. So for that, we needed to win, and Woodford Green needed to finish 3rd. Okay, so on the day, first job, we won the match by clear of 75 points, so a fantastic result there. Tunbridge, who were in a very tight relegation battle, pulled out a fabulous 2nd on the day, just 1 point ahead of Woodford Green. So essentially we thought, yeah, job done, we're going to Manchester as champions. But there was drama. Winchester had overused athletes and so had been penalised points. So after they reshuffled the points, Woodford Green switched to 2nd, 1 point ahead of Tunbridge, who were then 3rd. So as it stands, we haven't won overall, but it's still being scrutinised, so it may yet turn in our favour, we don't know. But I think certainly, given that we won by such a margin, I don't think it really matters that we're not league champions. We're going to go to Manchester in a very strong position, and I think the kids will do really well when we get up there. Anyway, that was the drama of the day, but some of the highlight performances we had. Our under 13 boys, we had 2 new boys competing for the club for the very first time, both in shot put. So we had Oliver Beecroft and Will Digby, literally flung in at the deep end into a YDL league match. So great to have them join us on Sunday. The hurdlers got us off to a great start with a win from Jake Maloney and a 2nd for Luca Hunston. Luca went on to win the B-string long jump and 5th in high jump. Jake also took a B-string win in 150 metres and was part of the 4x100 relay that took 3rd. Billy Ferroa carried the team in the 800 metres, and it was a 1-2 for Emery and Harry, who took double wins in the 1200 metres. Zach Poulier and Nico Senior covered the remaining sprints, and along with Callum Bryan were part of our 4x100 team. Oscar King, Zach Evans and Ashley Michelli covered the remaining field events, ensuring maximum points possible for the club. Moving on to our under 13 girls, they were just as strong. Our 200 metre runners of Zamaya Dixon and Eva John taking 2nd A string and 1st B string in a very competitive 200 metre event. Eva was also 1st A string in the 800 with a very dominant win, and then 5th A in hurdles. Zamaya matched her 200 metre silver with a silver in long jump, along with Theo Yeomans, who also took silver in the B string in long jump. Theo was also A string for high jump and B string in the short. Zamaya and Faye were joined with Etsia Cordo and Serena Williams in the 4x100 relay, where the girls had a storming win. Serena and Etsia covered the 75 metre sprint, and we had strong runs from Harriet Hughes, Isabella Jenkins and Holly Afford Smith in the B-string 800s and the 1200 metre events. Dulcie Simpson was busy as ever in shot put and discus, and it was a third B in the hurdles for Olivia King, plus a second B in high jump. Okay, so moving up to the under 15 boys, it would have been a perfect start for the boys in the 80 metre hurdles. Jamie Ellerton got us off to a win in the A string with a PB, and it was looking very much like it was going to be a win for Alex de Cruz, who had literally arrived just a few minutes before the start of his race, but unfortunately he clipped the penultimate hurdle and then very dramatically tumbled out of the race, so that was unfortunate. But he wasn't too badly hurt, and he went on to take third A string in the 200 metres. Our 100 metre sprinters took maximum points with double first from Piers Spencer Sims and Olufukayo Lana, and in a very competitive boys 300 metres, Oscar Sadowski and Thomas Valens took fourth and third respectively. Our middle distance boys scored really well with a second A string and first B for Cian Farrell and Daniel Horgan, and then we had double first and another 1-2 from James Shaw and Zacchaeus Kelman in the 1500 metres. So moving to the field, we had another double first in pole vault from Jonathan Adegbola and Rory Whitcomb. Rory also took second in hammer, and Jonathan had a fourth in shot. We had double seconds in long jump from Alex Giles and Jack Ruby. Alex also took second in the high jump and shot, and Jack had third B in the high jump. We had second and first in discus for Olufukayo Lana and Athenarth Gananthan. And Seb North had a good day with a fourth in the hammer and third in javelin. Alex Kingsbury took second B in javelin as well as along with Alex. So the afternoon was closed off really nicely with a win in the 4x100 from Piers, Jonathan, Oscar and Olufukayo, and then a third in the 4x300 from Cian, Daniel, Jericho and Thomas. And finally, the under 15 girls, we had podium finishes from Isabella Campbell-Andu, Feo Olatunzi and India Ellington in the sprints, and also from Sophie Tran and Cara Bryan in the 300 sprint. Sophie ran another third in the 800 metres along with Ines Manion, who took a B string win. We had double firsts and our third 1-2 of the day from our 1500 metre runners, Aoife McDonough and Evie De Bruyn. And then our field eventers were having a super strong day. We had another 1-2 from new club member Florence Holman, along with Amelia Desi in javelin. Amelia took another first in the shot with a 30 metre throw, and Kaweng Paul took second B in the shot alongside Amelia. There was also Kaweng was also part of our double first in discus, along with Jackie and Zekwe, and Jackie also had second in the hammer, along with Isla Wilson. It was another double win in pole vault from Ella Brooker and Luna Corey, and we had third and fourth from Feo and Heidi in high jump. The relay teams did a great job in closing off the afternoon. It was a second place finish from our 4x100 runners of Feo, Ella, Isabella and India. And then the 400 metre team brought home a very dominant win with Cara, Freya, Ariana and Sophie. Okay, I feel now we're getting towards the home straight. We're on to Parkrun. I feel like we're getting close to the end. Okay, Parkrun facts and podiums. So we had 53 runners this week taking part in 24 different locations. And our furthest from the Clubhouse Award goes to Jane Bradshaw, who was running at Rheinpark Parkrun over in Germany, which is approximately 360 miles from the clubhouse. There we go. So we had 10 podiums. We had 6 firsts, 2 seconds and 2 thirds. Starting as ever at Bromley, we had first home for the club with Micah Evans, who was also first home overall. James Bunn was second for the club and first junior, and Dad Philip Bunn was third home for the club. Johnny Lee was a second junior, and Thomas Sugden was first youth male. We also had First Lady with Katie Murray, who is someone I haven't come across before. Is she on your radar, Maz? Because she's a vet, she's a 35. So I think we need to get a hold of her because she's an 1854 park runner, so we'll have her. Yeah. Super. So it was first place for Kevin Finney at Beckenham Place Park. At Morden, Ryan Afford Smith was first junior, and he had also run a PB at the Southern League quite recently over 800 metres with a 2:09. Ryan is just coming back from injury, so it was really good to see him running quickly again. At Homewood, we had a third male from Richard Daniels, and Jane was actually second lady over at Rheinpark. So that concludes our Parkrun podiums. Coming up this weekend, we've got the under 15s and under 17 champs over up in Birmingham. We've got 34 athletes taking part in that, so we wish them all the very best. On Sunday here, we've got the third round of the Kent Young Athletes League. And of course the Olympics start on Friday, so that's a pretty big event, isn't it? So that's what's coming up. I now have one bit of bonus ball result to give you. And the winner with the winning ball of 44 goes to Chris Haynes. Okay, so does anyone have anything they want to raise? Anything that I've missed? Yep, John.
Thank you, Madam President. Only that it was Chris Haynes' 80th birthday on Saturday.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I think we might like to sing to him.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you.
So there's nothing else? That's us.